All right, and here's the post parade for the largest purse in dog racing history. Steve?
Gina, we start with number 1, who's Kiowa Hustler. Kiowa Hustler representing the Southland Greyhound Park out of West Memphis, Arkansas. And this is the youngest greyhound in the field. As you can see, he's owned by Kay Smith, run by the Kansas Kennel. Billy Duard is the trainer. This greyhound less than 2 years of age, and yet he made the final of this $250,000 race. This greyhound won the first 7 races of his life. Before coming in here, he has only had 14 lifetime starts, and inexperience might be the only problem. Let's move on to number 2, Wacky Blackie. Wacky Blackie is the only supplemental entry in the field, meaning that he was not nominated by a participating greyhound track. Thus, his owner, Carl Kraus, paid the $2,000 supplemental fee, and he's in here racing with the least he can take out, $7,500, even if he runs last. The Bill Rice Kennel, trainer Bill Rice representing Wacky Blackie, who got into the finals with a big victory in the final qualifying round Tuesday night. Classic Chase will be number 3, and Classic Chase is the favorite on the board at this time and was the top point qualifier. Representing the Wonderland Greyhound Park, Classic Chase is owned and raced by the Nova Kennel, Hans Limmer the trainer. Classic Chase won 3 of his 5 qualifying races. He is the most stakes experienced. Finished 3rd in the Grady Sprint at Wonderland, and also finished 3rd right here at Seabrook last year in the Great Greyhound Race. That's Classic Chase. Next in line would be number 4, Benji Speedboat. Benji Speedboat represents the Multnomah Kennel Club out of Portland, Oregon. He's owned and raced by Jack Bennett. Steve Pfluger is the trainer of Benji Speedboat, who was the Greyhound of the Year at Hollywood, Florida last year. Was also a finalist there in the Hollywood Classic. Moving on to number 5, it'll be Max Marlboro S. He's representing the Palm Beach Kennel Club. He's owned and raced by L.V. McClendon. Dick Early is the trainer for Max Marlboro S, who's been around. He's won 10 or more races at Ebro in Florida, also at Palm Beach, more recently at Tri-State, and gets into the final here off the strength of a pair of victories. Number 6 is Right Me. Right Me is the oldest greyhound in this field, 3 years and 3 months of age, and she is owned by the Galgo breeders, raced by the Gulf and Bay Kennel. Gary Dietz, the trainer. This is from Wheeling, West Virginia, and Right Me is one of only 2 females in this field. And that's important because the 4 previous Greyhound Race of Champions have all been won by females. Number 7 is Dee Dee's Nelson. This is the other entry from Wheeling, West Virginia. Dee Dee's Nelson, owned and raced by the Gulf and Bay Kennel. Gary Dietz, the trainer, with his 2nd entry of the night. Dee Dee's Nelson set a record at Wheeling, 11 consecutive victories. This greyhound is the winningest greyhound in the nation this year with 38 victories. He got 2 of those wins, also 3 seconds in his 5 races here. And number 8 is Bonnie Hawk. She'll be coming up here as the longest shot in the field, representing Dubuque, Iowa. Rex Niver, the owner. Nova Kennel, the trainer, runs for Ron Mullen in Dubuque. Hans Limmer is the trainer for Bonnie Hawk, who also is a very consistent greyhound getting into the final here, and she'll break from the number 8 box. And that's the list of 8 going postward for the $250,000 purse, $125,000 to the winner.
Well, Steve, you say that
Running of the race.
As the world looks on for the richest race of them all, the Yankee Lure makes its historic run in the Great Greyhound Race. Out of the trap in the Race of Champions. Going right to the front is the Speedboat Dog, the Chase, Classic Chase, and stuttling through the turns, 4 dues. A red coat down the backside, it's that Speedboat Dog they've got to catch. Wacky Blackie is right there. For the Candy Striper, still the Speedboat as they turn for home, and Wacky Blackie is gaining ground down on the inside. Speedboat Dog, Wacky Blackie, Dee Dee's Nelson, Kiowa Hustler, and the Classic Dog at 9 to 5 was off the board in the greatest race of them all.
There we have it, the Wacky Blackie, and then it's a good 4 or 5 lengths back to the rest of the pack as Dee Dee's Nelson gets up to be 3rd, beating out Classic Chase and Kiowa Hustler.
Of Seabrook Greyhound Park, Yankee Greyhound Incorporated, headed by our president, Mr. Edward J. Keelan, the treasurer.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Seabrook Greyhound Park. What a race it was, and here to make the presentation for tonight's champion, the president of Seabrook Park, Eddie Keelan. Eddie?
Thanks very much, Gino. We're very pleased with this race. We have a wonderful group out here on the track representing the sweeps and our own people. Tom, Joe Carney, Arden Hartman, president of the AGTOA, one of the wonderful Blair family out here, Miss Greyhound. We have down the end here, we have Mr. Pfluger, we have Skip Jones, we have Mike Higgins, and we have the winning Greyhound dog for $125,000. Thank you, Gino.
Benji Speedboat. I got to tell you, he took the lead, went off and won it, going away.
There with the blanket emblematic. Come on over here. This great race.
Gino, we'll get the trainer over here, Steve Pfluger. We can talk to him in just a second here as they take pictures. Steve, you mentioned the other night Benji Speedboat kind of missed his break in that final qualifying round, but he was out and going tonight.
He was ready for him tonight. Oh, I can't
Like the
believe
way he broke, right?
Oh, excellent. Just what he had to do.
Steve, do you have any second thoughts when Classic Chase got up inside of you going to the first turn?
It was rough. Just, he stayed down. We went on. Speedboat. I can't believe it.
Not too nervous, are you?
Oh.
When will you be calling Jack Bennett to tell him about this?
He knows. He's been watching it. We got it. They're all watching it.
Well, Benji Speedboat, we mentioned that at 9-1 was a long shot. Did you expect him to go off at those kind of odds?
I figured he'd go off a lot lower. I figured he'd go 4 to 5 to 1 at the most.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
And here's the trophy that will be presented to the winner, the 86th Great Greyhound Race of Champions. Well, thank you very much, everyone, from Seabrook Greyhound Park in Seabrook, New Hampshire. Good evening.
Oh, great. Look at there, Spud.